Welcome to the Be Good Men podcast. This is where we search for what makes a good man and discover the steps to become one. Let's journey together in our quest to become better men, husbands, and fathers. Here's your host, Darren.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Be Good Men podcast. This is your host, Darren Hearn. I am your guide as you join with me and we try to find out what makes a good man and the steps to become one. So if you joined us for episode number 1, basically I just went ahead and recapped how this journey got started, some of the things that came into my mind or prompted me to start to discover, okay, well, what is it that makes a good man? What are the things that we need to be doing better? And some of the things that the world is needing, because there basically seems to be a vacuum where the good men normally would have filled that place. And so that seems to be the cause of a lot of the problems and issues that we're having in the world today. So that was sort of where we started with the last episode and ended off. And it was just a matter of me trying to figure out, okay, what is it that makes a good man? Where can I look? What can I read? What can I discover in order to take this journey and take these steps in order to be better and in order to possibly help anyone else that's interested in this as well. And the sad part is that there's really not much information out there, so it makes it a lot more difficult. There are some sites that talk about men and good men and things, but a lot of it has to do centered around business and other things like that, which is important. But this was more about how do we become better, not just physically or monetarily, but better morally and ethically and all these other ways. So I went back and looked at where was there an organization or something in my past where it was specifically trying to turn boys into good men or describing things that would make someone a good man. And my mind came back to when I was in the Boy Scouts. And now I know that in 2019, the Boy Scouts and all the political stuff and political correctness and everything that's gone on, there's been a lot of issues with the Boy Scouts. But regardless of that, let's go back to where their original information and their original charter and their idea of, okay, this is what we're doing in order to make boys into good men. So I went back and went ahead and took a look at some of that, some of the things that were written. And when I was in Scouts, I went the whole 9 yards and became an Eagle Scout. Had tons of fun doing campouts. So and learned a ton of stuff. Some of it, which I have obviously forgotten. I wish I still remembered how to do some of the knots and some of the other fun stuff. That would be fun to teach my family. But I mean, some of the basic knots, I guess I still remember, but some of the more complicated stuff, I think when I went in for my Eagle border review and they did that final one, they had me tie some of the basic knots, but they didn't have some of the crazier ones that they have in there that are super hard. They didn't have me do any of those, thank goodness, because I don't think I would have remembered those. But anyway, that was many years ago. So I went back and looked at the Boy Scouts and what were they telling us to do and what were they teaching young men. So I went back and I printed up some of the information here. And so we have the Scout Oath, which let me read that to you. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. So pretty straightforward. I do like that. Some of the lines in there, which to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Basically, keep yourself out of trouble, both health-wise and also keep yourself out of all sorts of other entanglements by paying attention to what's going on and then choosing to do the right thing rather than the wrong thing. The Scout motto, which was "Be prepared," totally makes sense, right? That's something as men we should always try to do. As fathers or husbands, that we think things through and try to help our families or our loved ones in case something were to happen. Are we ready? Do we have knowledge? Do we have the skills to be able to help people and be prepared for whatever comes our way? The Scout slogan, which I like as well, which is "Do a good turn daily." So I remember as a punk teenage scout, I remember every time we read that, we used to just turn in the circle just to be idiots like we were at the time. But that basically meant to do an act of service every day. So go out and do something good for somebody else. And then, of course, the biggest one was the Scout law, which I'll go ahead and read to you. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I remember when I was a teenage scout on campouts, we always had issues with clean, but that was just as far as taking showers and not smelling bad. But that clean in there actually goes much further into your thoughts and other things as well. But this really got me thinking, what if we were to take some of the knowledge that was in here and apply that to our lives? What would change? Could we use this information to make our lives better? I believe yes, absolutely. If being prepared for things would help us to be able to deal with whatever comes our way, whether it's good, bad, otherwise. If we promised ourselves that we would do our best every day and that we would always be willing to help people and look for occasions to serve and help people every day, to keep ourselves physically fit, mentally awake, morally straight, and then, of course, all the things in the law. So many good things in there, being trustworthy, courteous, kind, brave when we need to be brave instead of cowering from things that we should or shouldn't do. Could we use these to make our families stronger, whether we're a husband, father, whether we're a son, a brother, are there, uncle, whatever? Are there things that we can do, grandparent? Are there things we can use these for to help strengthen our families? Absolutely. I think one of the biggest ways is when you do these things and when you serve and when you do good, you are an example to everyone else. And that's I'm a big believer that our actions speak louder than words. And so that's something where, and I tell my kids that all the time, that like you have to remember that especially when you're giving advice to somebody, if you're telling them to do something and you're doing completely the opposite, your hypocrisy is screaming over whatever you're saying. So you have to either acknowledge it and realize that, okay, I'm saying this, but I'm doing the opposite, and I understand that's hypocritical, but this is why you should do what you do. And I think once you acknowledge it, then it sort of quiets down that voice and people, okay, even though he's, doing the opposite, or he's not doing this, this is why I should. But I think that being a good example, and then also teaching these to our sons and daughters, our nieces and nephews, grandchildren, stepchildren, whatever, teaching them that here's some things that you can do to be better in your life, and here's some things that you can do to help yourself to be a better example and to be a better person. And I think that a lot of times we want to change the world and we want to make things better for everybody, but the only person we can really change is ourselves. And then as we change ourselves and as we grow, everyone around us is affected by it, and they can see the changes, and they can see what's going on, and that they might want to follow our example, especially if it's something that is good and we feel makes us happy, makes us happier, puts us in a better place. Then definitely they would go ahead and want to follow that. So what I did then is I went ahead and took the lists. Well, I compiled a whole bunch of this information, as well as some of the stuff that I had thought of as well, and put it together into a list of what I call the attributes of a good man. Now, this has been on my blog, which was begoodmen.net. It's been on there for a while. It's been on the Facebook and the Twitter pages. I think it's actually on the Twitter page, which is be_good_men. It is the pinned tweet, is the attributes of a good man. It's what I did is went ahead and took some of these, and then I went ahead and went a little bit further and defined them, as far as here's what it is and here's what it means. So maybe it'll make things a little more clear for you. And I started with the first thing in the attributes of a good man was service. And as I've started studying this and learning more and more, I am starting to believe that service is the most important attribute, and being of service and helping other people and serving those that we love and care about and serving our fellow man is the way to change our families and the world and ourselves. But anyway, let me read this. Service. A good man is always serving others. He looks for ways to help others willingly, without concern for getting paid back. The next attribute then is trustworthy. And I wrote here, a good man keeps his promises. He tells the truth. He is dependable and honest. People do not doubt putting their trust in him. And that seems to be a big problem in our world today, is that people don't know and don't feel like they can trust other people. And so then they just, go inside themselves and put walls up instead of being able to learn and trust other people. So then the third one I wrote was physically fit. A good man knows that he can only truly help others if he is as healthy as he can be. He fuels his body with good food. He exercises as much as possible. He knows the power that healthy has on his body, and the clarity it brings to his mind. So that was something that was important, is that if we're going to serve and to help other people and to try to be better, we can't be unhealthy, because that's just going to drag everything we're trying to do down. So physically fit is one of the more important things that we need to do. It stinks to have to work out and eat things that we don't, not be able to eat what we want to eat. But if you're wanting to not be a burden on others later, you need to be as healthy as you can be. Realizing that some people have physical limitations and stuff like that, but you can still take care of yourself as much as possible, and limit the effects that living unhealthy will have on you. And so therefore you can help people, you can, help people move and all that fun stuff. But more importantly, that you feel good and, are able to jump in and help at any point. And that comes from being physically fit and feeling good, inside and out. The next one is moral. A good man has high standards. He is clean in his speech and actions. He is faithful to his wife, family, and others he has made commitments to. Pretty self-explanatory, but very important. Brave. A good man will stand up for what is right, even when others threaten or laugh at him. He has the courage to face danger, even if he is afraid inside. So I've noticed that on Facebook and Twitter and all the other fun social medias, there's been several videos where someone's assaulting a woman or a guy's hitting an old lady, and there are just tons of men just standing around watching it. And I realize that they're probably thinking, oh, I don't want to get involved and all sorts of reasons, but that's not right. You have to be willing to stand up for others and to help others regardless, if you're scared inside or not. You have to stand up and do what's right. And basically what I'm going to try to do is to go through each one of these and do a separate podcast on each one and talk about it in a little more in depth. And of course, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, let me know. Or if there's something you want me to go more in depth about one of these subjects, I will definitely do that. Loyal. A good man is true to his family, friends, community, and any other organizations he belongs to. Kind. A good man treats others as he would want to be treated. He does not hurt, harm, or kill anything less powerful than he is without a good reason. So in that one, some of these are things that I came up with, and some of them are the Boy Scouts things said some of this stuff, and I tweaked it a bit. But I think that that's probably a good way for us to live our lives is to be kind first, and to not hurt or harm other people without, a good reason other than, your life being in danger, or something like that. Aware is the next one. A good man is mentally awake and is knowledgeable of what is really going on around him. He does not bury his head in the sand. He pays attention to what is happening with friends, family, community, and the world. So, and that for me is something really important. I whenever I've done those personality tests and stuff, I always come out with overly optimistic is what it comes out for me. And I've noticed that that's the case, is a lot of times I'll just think the best of people rather than paying attention to what's actually going on. And that's caused me to miss some things where after something happens, I look back and, wow, how did I miss that? It was right in front of me. So I think that that's an important thing, is that we're aware. Pay attention to what's going on around you, what's really going on, rather than what we would like to be happening around us. And whether that means something really good is happening and we praise somebody, or whether somebody is suffering and we're not seeing it like we should. Pay attention, be aware, and you'll be grateful later. Obedient is the next one. A good man knows and obeys the law. This is true for local, state, and national laws. If he believes a law is unfair, he does his best to see that they are changed. So, and that would be something where you would work within the system to change it. Or I have several friends that their homeowners association had some laws they didn't like. So rather than just be disobedient and break them, instead they ran for to be on the homeowners association. And when they got on, then they were able to change the things that they objected to. So it's sort of like that. Like if there's something we don't like or something we feel needs to be changed, then we work within the system to fix it or to change it. The next one is happy. A good man has a heart filled with love and peace. He looks for the bright side of things. He looks for the good in others. He chooses to help others be happy as well. So I think that's something important, because nobody's going to want to be around us, and nobody's going to want to follow us on our journey to be better if we're not happy. And I think that the most important part of that is, first of all, that we're happy, but that we try to make others happy. So what is it that's going to bring true happiness, not just, temporary, that I made them smile for a second, but what's going to bring true and lasting happiness to the people around us and the people we love and care about, right? Because that's more important, lasting happiness, than just something temporary that's going to leave them 5 minutes later. Next one, reverent. A good man believes in something larger than himself. He is faithful and respectful of his. He is faithful. Sorry, I can't read. He is faithful and respectful of his religious beliefs and duties. He respects the beliefs of others. So, I think that that's important, that we believe in something bigger than ourselves. Whether you believe in religion, a specific church, whether you're spiritual, whatever, that you believe that there's something out there that binds us all together, or something out there that is bigger than us. There's a power or a force that's bigger than us. But more importantly, that you are respectful to those that believe differently than you. And I think that goes a long way, having respect and showing respect for other people's beliefs. And the next one is prepared, which we had talked about a little bit in the Scout. Let's see. A good man is ready to help others regardless of the situation that may come his way. He takes time to learn and get ready for what may happen. So that's important. Know the things that might happen in your area, what kind of disasters, natural or whatever, may come your way, and be prepared for them as well as you can be. There's, time to take classes, whether it's first aid, CPR, anything that you can be there to help, to jump in. Even if, even if it's a situation where, you don't know how to swim and you live somewhere that might have, flooding or something like that's, learn how to swim. That's something that's important. Be prepared, in all these situations. I'm not saying that you need to be, a doomsday prepper or anything like that, but, be prepared to have extra food and water, do the things so that if something does happen, you're ready, not only to help yourself, but to help your family and help others and help your community. And that all comes through being prepared and through not necessarily just having food and water and that, but also having skills, which is the next one, skilled. A good man knows how to do things. No one can know how to do everything, but he takes the time to learn skills that will help himself and others. So that's literally, I led into that. That was like perfect segue. But skills, that's an important thing. Now, whether we're just talking about, we were talking before about CPR or first aid, blah, blah, blah. But this could be something just as simple as learning how to cook. There's so many people that don't know how to cook, or don't know how to fix an appliance, or how to, if the car battery dies, how to jump their car with the jumper cables. All those sorts of things are things, or change a tire. Those are all things that, yes, I live in Arizona, so during the summer I would much rather have somebody come and, AAA come and change my tire or whatever, but I know how to do it. And that's the most important thing. And again, that falls back with, okay, if I know how to do these things, and then the chance comes for me to help somebody else, I also can help them, since I know how to do these particular things. So not only can having these be a blessing in our lives, but we can use those skills to be a blessing in other people's lives. The next one, always learning. A good man never stops learning. He takes classes and reads to keep his mind fit. He loves to learn and share the new things with others. So that's something that, I used to do a lot more reading and then been so busy. But audiobooks are amazing. And there's so many podcasts and all sorts of fun things that you can do that actually are teaching things. And there's historical podcasts, and there's all sorts of different books and things that are audiobooks. And so you can basically, anytime that you have to squeeze something in, you can learn something new. There's guys I know that will listen to a Spanish lesson or some other language while they're walking on the treadmill at the gym trying to get fit for that half an hour, whatever it is they're doing. Several guys I know will do audiobooks while they drive to and from work and use that time to fill their minds. So anything you can do, if you do have time to take classes, whether it's, going back to your local community college, doing something online, like I said before, learning how to cook, you could go to a cooking school, and learn how to do those things. I think they even have several online cooking classes now too, which I might need to look into that. I'd always like to, I know how to cook, but I'd love to get better at baking and stuff like that. So that might be fun. But anyway, that's something we should be doing anyway, is because your brain loves to learn. It loves to store new information. So give it something to learn all the time, and it will be so happy and love you for it. The next one, and there's only two more. So the next one is thrifty. A good man works hard to pay his own way. He knows how to budget and save for his future and unforeseen circumstances. He uses his time and money to help others. So this one was an important one to me, is that a lot of times when you're going to want to help people, it's going to be monetarily. So if we're going to want to help people, we have to be earning enough money, saving enough money, living the way that we need to live to be able to put money away for both emergencies with us and also to help other people. There's so many things I've been reading about how people have no savings and how a lot of people are one paycheck away from losing everything. And we cannot live our lives that way. We cannot be that kind of irresponsible where we don't have any savings. Even if it's just a little bit, you can't put away much, but you can set up an automatic savings plan where every month it takes it out of your account without you even thinking about it and puts it away. And that'll add up really quickly. And then you'll be surprised. You'll look and say, oh my goodness, I didn't realize we had this much money sitting there. Or, oh, we have an emergency. Well, how much do we have in the emergency account? Several things I've heard say that you should have at least $1,000 put away for emergencies, more if possible. And I think that if you were to do a little every month, you could probably get there quickly. And then if whatever happens, whether it's medical, car, home repairs, something, that $1,000 would come in very handy if it was needed. Or again, if you needed to help someone else and you could give them that money. So that's something we will definitely talk about, is budgeting and savings and how to earn additional money, whether you get a part-time job or train for a better job or get a side hustle or whatever it is. But that's definitely something we all need to change our mindset, is to live in a thrifty way, to save and to have that money on hand so that we can help and both ourselves and others. And the last one is integrity. A good man holds himself to the highest ethical standards. He avoids even the appearance of impropriety. he is known by others for his honesty. So, and that one I like because he avoids even the appearance of impropriety. Especially in today's world, we know that even though we may not do something wrong, because we give somebody the idea that they think we did, they may just assume that we did and hold it against us. So we have to avoid the very appearance of wrongdoing. And I think that goes a long way with, imagine if we didn't do anything that made our wives wonder, about, why is he spending so much time with her, or why isn't he doing this or that? If we never gave somebody that reason to doubt us or to question our honesty, how much better our lives would be, and then how much easier our relationships would be with others. So definitely something to think about. And on this, what I'm going to try to do is to go through each and every one, and to do a podcast on each and every one, so we can go through and say, okay, what did I mean by moral? What did I mean by trustworthy? Or what did I mean by loyal? And just talk about that. Why is it important to do these things, and why, and what is the benefit for us, right? Because that's always the way that we get motivated is, well, what's in it for me? What benefit do I get? And so we'll talk about that as well. And like I said before, if we're going to change the world, we have to start with ourselves. And then once we start taking the steps, others will follow us, and we'll be able to lead both ourselves and hopefully the younger generations towards what is it to be a good man, why is it important, and here's how we get there. And I think that if we do these sort of things, that it will have huge repercussions on things that are going on in the world and the changes that will be made. Because good men are needed and wanted by so many people and affect the outcome of so many things. And because there's that vacuum there, it's being filled by a lot of garbage. So we need to do better, and we need to try harder. And that's not to say that you're not already trying hard and doing your best. You probably are, but these are things that, hey, maybe you could do it this way, or maybe we could try a little harder, or maybe there's something that we can learn here. And I think that in doing these things, I know for myself that in learning these things and trying to do them every day, that it's been a huge blessing. So what I'm hoping is that it will do the same for you. Well, and that's all I have for today's show. I'm sorry if I was a little long-winded. Again, I'm out and about, so I'm actually recording this in my car. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. But anyway, wanted to get this out there. And the next episode, we'll start going through the attributes, start with service, which again, I think is the most important one, and we'll go through and talk about all that. But if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, definitely please let me know. The website where the blog is and where this the podcast, one of the places that it's posted is begoodmen.net. And then, of course, we have all the social medias. On Facebook, we have a Be Good Men page, and I will be opening up the group so that we can start chatting about these things and answer questions and things like that. I think right now there's over 100 people that are following the page. So, and a lot of times I just go in and post little inspirational quotes on that when I don't have time to update the blog or do the things that I want to put in there. Anyway, but Twitter is B_good_men. A lot of good information there. I did start a YouTube page, which I'm going to start posting some of this stuff there, the podcast, and start making some videos and things like that and put them on there. Which is Facebook, and then Facebook, YouTube, and then the channel is Be Good Men. So if you go ahead and search for that, I'll also try to make sure I link that to the blog as well. But anyway, I'm so thankful that you guys listened to this. Sorry if I was rambling too much, but definitely I will catch you guys next time. And I'm going to start posting. Sometimes I do these little things called daily thoughts, which just are some things I'm thinking about during the day. And I've been going on just Periscope, which is the live thing of Twitter. And while I'm driving around and just sharing some of those thoughts, and then I've been posting them on the YouTube channel. But I may start posting those into the podcast as well, and on the blog and everything as well. So a lot coming, and I am very excited. I'm so excited to get this going and see everything grow. But I will talk to you guys later, and thank you so much for listening. And hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye, guys.